I was prompted to finger spell my name in Auslan, but I was a bit shy because I was a bit struck by Sam's appearance. I'm Link.
I'm Sam. One night, Link had been drinking and asked me to become their partner, and I was totally shocked.
I was visiting Sydney for Mardi Gras. I do currently live in Melbourne, and we met whilst I lived in Melbourne, so most of our relationship was long distance. Still is for another few weeks.
Yeah, we've been together for the pandemic, which has been really nice.
We share a lot of, I think, values for the support of people in minorities, so people with disabilities, the queer community, obviously, because we're part of that. I, for one, didn't really know too much about the deaf community before I met Sam, and how much autism and how much oppression that they actually face. So that is a huge value that we share that I'm still quite learning from with Sam's experiences.
I guess I'm finding it funny because it's a little bit confronting when you talk about it. But I think for me, communication, we were quite strong because we would text, so we both have that commonality of English, and we would also call. We could call, and we could also communicate in Auckland. So we actually have 3 ways of communicating, and each have their own benefit. In English, I can express myself the most clearly, and what I mean by that is texting, because I'm so used to it. I find it difficult sometimes when I'm talking to express my feelings. Sometimes when I'm signing, it's easier. But it's really interesting, and we alternate between all 3 of those things. And I think that's what we're so privileged to have, is such rich ways of communication.
Yeah. Being in a long distance relationship, time apart can also be a bit detrimental to the mindset of the person in terms of how conflict can be resolved. So for the both of us, I think it was really obvious that when we first started having conflict or fights, it was very, very almost automatic for us to go off and be by ourselves and to kind of ignore our phones and to ignore the other person, because being apart meant that it was much easier to do. Being together for the past 2 months physically in the same household has really put that into light and shown us that there's a lot more to learn from resolving conflict together. For me, when I first met Sam, I could fingerspell. I knew the alphabet in Auslan, but it was very, very slow. There was always that inkling that everyone always says that they wanted to learn sign language or Auslan, and for me, it was kind of that final decision to actually get into it. And after enrolling in my Cert 2, Sam really helped to expand my knowledge very quickly, and also having that background of English not being my only language at home, learning another language was quite a bit easier for me. Sam helped organise and was known as the Inner West Auslan Social, being accepted through Sam, obviously, and then making my own place through my studies has been really amazing.
Being a hard appearing person in two different worlds, that grey area is really difficult. There are a lot of challenges that are really invisible by other people, but having my partner see those challenges really, really validates me. I think pandemic aside, it's been a lot of challenges getting used to that constant time being together.
Yeah, I think when I found out that I was going to be stood down from work, we made plans for me to move up to Sydney in the inner west here in Marrickville, and it was a huge kind of very fast, hasty decision, but I wouldn't have changed the decision, I wouldn't have done it any other way.